You know, it's funny how life can turn on a dime. One moment you're cleaning floors, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. And the next you're standing exactly where you need to be, making a difference in a young girl's life. That was Maya Williams, a name you might not recognize now, but it's about to resonate with you. For years, she lived in the shadows, struggling to get by, doubting. Her dreams scared of what lay ahead and mostly dismissed by those around her. People saw her just as a maid, someone on the fringes, but they didn't see the fire inside her. A fire fueled by her love for music. A passion that seemed so distant when her reality was a constant cycle of hard work and heartbreak. Maya had fled from a past that was filled with pain, the kind that scars you and leaves you wondering if you'll ever really be seen. She found herself in the Grayson estate, a grand mansion haunted by the memory of its late matriarch, Elise. Little did anyone know it was there that Maya would encounter a twist of fate. Unbeknownst to Ethan Grayson, the widowed CEO still carried the weight of his wife's absence, and his blind daughter Sophie was yearning for someone to help her embrace the world beyond darkness. And that's where Maya stepped in. She became more than just a maid. She became a teacher, a friend, and slowly but surely a catalyst for healing. But of course, it wasn't an easy journey. Nothing worthwhile ever is. The day it all unravelled, I remember it vividly. Morning light streamed through the ornate windows, casting shadows on the polished floors. But despite the beauty, I felt nothing but dread. I was in the music room with Sophie, trying to teach her to find the notes, when the door swung open like a storm. Ethan stood there, fury written on every line of his face. "What are you doing?" He barked, his voice like ice cutting through a warm summer day. I straightened, my heart racing. "Ethan, I'm just... Don't. Don't act like you belong here. You think you can just waltz in and take what's mine." His words lashed out, and I clutched the violin as shield against his accusations. "It's not about you." I shot back, feeling every nerve in my body ignite. "This is about Sophie, about bringing her the joy that Elise wanted for her." He scoffed, every laugh a dagger. "You a maid. You think you can fill Elise's shoes. You have no idea what you're touching." The air snapped with tension, hot with emotions. I hadn't expected to surface. How could he see me like that? Just a maid just beneath him, my heart was pounding in disbelief. I thought our bond was stronger than this. I thought he understood music touches places, deep ones that transcended money class history. As the argument escalated, it became clear I was losing. "You're fired," he declared, his tone brooking no argument. His words felt like a physical blow, knocking the air from my lungs. I turned to Sophie, whose bewildered eyes pleaded for understanding. "It's okay," I whispered, even as my voice trembled with hurt. "I'm not leaving you." But as I brushed past Ethan, the echoes of his laughter followed me like a ghost. His betrayal cut deeper than any knife. In that moment, I felt like a shadow marked by grief and loss, yet stubbornly refusing to fade away. I would return not as a maid, but as a voice that refused to be silenced, determined to show both him and Sophie that music could stitch the wounds of their lives together, if only they would let it. So there I was giddy, with this defiant spark of hope, totally convinced that I could just waltz back into the Grayson estate and pick up where I left off. But oh boy, did reality have other plans. Let's just say my grand vision of a heroic return was met with the enthusiasm of a soggy cardboard box. Ethan, possessively protective of his grief, may as well have put up a neon sign declaring, "No trespassing on dead wife's memory." So I scoured the town for a way back. I thought about reaching out to anyone who might understand my plight. A random lady at the bus stop, a barista who was too happy for a Monday morning. I mean, how do you convince someone you should be allowed to share music with a little girl who's not only blind, but is also the daughter of an emotionally barricaded man? I needn't have worried. All I received were a few polite smiles and shrugging shoulders. I could practically hear the collective eye roll of my support group as they whispered, "She's back at it again." Of course, there was that pesky little detail, Mrs. Hargrove. If she were a weather pattern, she'd definitely be a thunderstorm with a side of bitter winds. Her judgmental glares could cut glass. Fired, weren't you? What's the comeback plan? Oh, ambitious one. I laughed it off. Oh, don't worry. I'm just here to win over the hearts of the Grayson family. One awkward moment at a time, I'd retort, fully aware that she'd relish each misstep. But as desperately as I wanted to blend back into the shadows banished by the very person I was trying to help, I felt that stubborn ember of determination flicker. For Sophie. If I didn't try, who would I? Made every effort to work my way back into her life, holding on to this threadbare vision that one note could bridge the massive chasm between me and Ethan's unyielding grief. It was madness, really, but amid the chaos, and sometimes with a chuckle at my own ridiculousness, there was a steely resolve growing within me, a belief that perhaps, just perhaps, music might be the key. Maya stood in the hallway, her heart pounding against her chest. Just hours ago, everything felt lost. She thought of Sophie, the way the girls' laughter danced through the air when she plucked her note from the violin. The magic of music pouring from her fragile frame. But now despair wrapped around her like a shroud. And then, out of that darkness, her phone buzzed. A message. An old photograph. Elise radiating joy. Maya holding a violin, their smiles woven like a tapestry of hope. It was a reminder. A flicker ignited. This wasn't just about staying or going. It was about fighting for Sophie, for the music, for Elise's hidden wishes. Maya clenched her fists. She wasn't going to let grief suffocate her brilliance. This was her turning point. Pausing, she drew in a breath, pooling the courage from deep within. She could hear Ethan's voice, sharp and jagged, cutting through her resolve. "You don't belong here. Didn't she? No more hiding. No more shadows. I can't be just a maid," she whispered to herself. A vow echoing in the emptiness. Not anymore. In that quiet moment, she felt the pieces of her fractured heart slowly stitching together. It felt raw, electric. Maya's thoughts raced to Sophie, again to the child who saw her, not through titles, but through music. Knocking on the door of her mind, Maya grasped onto clarity, the promise that she could return. She had to be there for Sophie to teach her what it meant to truly live. With newfound resolve, Maya stepped toward Ethan, heart pounding, ready to face his barriers. A reluctant truce, but it was enough. a crack in his armour, a glimpse of potential. Let's give her this week, she found her voice steady and sure. And in those words, a spark flickered. The choice to rise above her fears, to embrace the power of music and connection, to unite against the shadows. Maya wasn't just standing at the precipice. She was ready to leap. As the camera cuts to the stark lighting of the boardroom, we see Maya standing resolute beside Ethan. Her grip steady on the folder filled with evidence of their bond with Sophie and Elise's vital wishes. The air is thick with tension, but beneath their worries lies a point of undeniable strength. With every word she speaks, it's as if the notes of a symphony are pouring from her heart, each one resonating with pain and joy, weaving the past into the present. In this case, Your Honour. Maya begins her voice unwavering. Music is not just a hobby, it's a lifeline for Sophie, a bridge to her future. The room hangs on her every word, her conviction cutting through the accusations that swirl like storm clouds. Ethan watches her pride washing over him as she stands for both herself and Sophie, a living embodiment of hope amidst the legal storm. The gavel finally comes down, victory. Maya's heart pounds in her chest as the headlines flash. Grayson family reunites through music. The camera zooms in on her quiet smirk, a smile that says, I did it. They've overcome the odds, not just for themselves, but for the child who needed a champion. Outside the courtroom, as the sun dips below the horizon, bathing the world in gold, Maya and Ethan share a handshake, a bonding moment that transcends mere formality. In that warm clasp of hands, they acknowledge the journey that has brought them here, a mix of gratitude and humility evident in their expressions. But amidst the triumph, it's clear that the scars of their past remain worn not as burdens, but as badges of honour, proof that they've earned every inch of this moment. As the camera lingers, catching a glimpse of Sophie laughing as she plays her first notes alongside Maya, we're reminded that success doesn't erase the scars, it simply makes them worth it. As we close the curtain on Maya Williams' remarkable journey, let's pause to reflect on what we've witnessed. From the shadows of disdain and isolation to the vibrant symphony of healing, Maya and Sophie transformed the desolate halls of the Grayson estate into a sanctuary. Through heartache, betrayal, and the pursuit of music, Maya learned that trust is a fragile gift, often misplaced, yet crucial for connection. Watching Ethan confront his grief, we see a man once consumed by custom and pain, now willing to learn the language of vulnerability. The battle lines of power were redrawn not through revenge, but through an unexpected alliance forged in love and empathy. So we must ask, is the act of seeking revenge ever truly justified? Or does it only serve to deepen our wounds, blinding us to the paths of healing and redemption that await? This narrative challenges us to confront our own beliefs about justice and retribution. Could it be that failure might not be the end, but the catalyst for a profound transformation? Or perhaps it teaches us that forgiveness can be the strongest form of power we possess. As we reflect on these questions, we invite you to join the conversation. Share your thoughts below. Have you ever experienced a moment where love triumphed over revenge? What does true justice mean to you? The echoes of Maya's journey will linger, reminding us that beyond sorrow lies the potential for a symphony of joy.